Well, Tito, you know, I have been, all this time, since 1986, I have been wanting to ask you a question.
Oh.
And I have never found the opportunity to do it. And I think this is a good time.
Yeah.
After all that happened in EDSA, after all of this uprising, etc., nandun na kami, dinala na kami sa Guam and then eventually to Hawaii. Bakit hindi kayo ang nagpresidente? You knew the characters that were involved and you were much more qualified than any of them.
Your dad was giving me the government in the morning of Tuesday, February 25.
I remember, Tito, I was there when he made the phone call to you.
Correct. He was stopping, he was asking me to ask Cory to postpone her oath-taking. But I told him I would try. You know, Bongbong, I did not intend to take over power in the first place. But while I was inside Camp Aguinaldo, Camp Crame, I was thinking about what will happen. And I said, if the military will take over, I will involve the country into a possible civil war. Because the election was just finished. There is a big block of votes that voted for Cory. There was a big block of votes that voted for your father. And I was not exposed to the electoral process at that point. I'm sure that if the military took over and I assumed power, I will have enemies inside my military organization also. Then there is a possibility that the two forces that fought in that election will combine.
Was it likely?
It's possible.
I suppose yung tropa namin and those who were opposed to you within the MND center.
And then you have the bulk of the military at that point, who did not know where they will situate themselves. All of that I thought about it. By the way, Monday night, I called for Jimmy Ongping to come to Camp Crame. And I said, this event that is happening now will be a protracted event. Let us organize a provisional government to handle the running of our revolutionary government. I said I proposed 5 cabinet positions: just defense, finance, local government, justice, and foreign affairs. Sa inyo yung 4, kako, na posisyon. Sa amin, yung defense. Because I wanted to balance their political forces against the military forces. Alam mong ginawa nila that night? That is where I started to suspect them. They filled all the positions in the cabinet. They organized their own cabinet.
But you had an agreement previous to that?
I had an agreement with Jimmy Ongping. Ay kako, hindi po na mga totoo na tao na itong kausap ko.
Yes, it's always been a mystery to me because you were positioned perfectly to take over the reins of power. And we were all a little surprised watching this again from far away. And we were saying, for sure, I'm sure, si Minister...
I was afraid not for myself, but for the country, that it will cause a bloodbath.
I think you were similar in thinking to my father because one of the reasons, and I asked him this directly, is that why were you so hesitant to use force in 1986? Nung talagang papasukin na yung palasyo, binobomba na tayo, binabaril na tayo, ganun. Why were you not, marami naman kaming tropa, we were very well prepared. Because as I said, we received the information of an imminent attack on the palace 1 week before you and General Ramos went to Crame and made your stand in Crame. So we had the chance to prepare. So we were wondering why did we not fight back with force? And he said that would have been the beginning of a civil war.
Yeah.
Which I think is exactly the way you saw it.
That afternoon of when you left the palace, I do not know whether you were with the president.
I was.
When he called me, first he asked me, do you have any troops around the palace? I said, Mr. President, we do not have any troops around the palace. I said. And, but there are people firing at us. Well, those are not our people. Can you send someone to help us to stop those firings? And so I said, I will send General Olivas there.